Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Pro Cycling Manager 2020 Career Mode, episode number 4. We're in the Super Challenge, the Extreme Challenge, and the moment of truth is a day away. I'll let you enjoy that moment with me so we can have the reaction together. We have had abject failure in sponsor confidence. We only had 3 races. All 3 were objectives, and although they were low objectives, we were nowhere near, not even remotely close to completing those. And the only sponsor confidence that we regained in any way, shape, or form was because the Czech Republic national race had fewer than 25 riders, so we finished in the top 25 and actually not even last, we were next to last, but all the other races we were either last or next to last as well. That's how bad our riders are, our team is in this inaugural season. So we are going to lose our sponsor. Is it game over, or will we get a new sponsor offer? Hopefully we get a new one. Otherwise, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. We've got 3 riders at the end of their contracts. Our 2 old guys retiring or out. And also Lunenburg. We'll have to see if Lunenburg is somebody we're even interested in re-signing. Probably not. That'll free up 3 places. I have no idea what kind of budget we're working with next season, but it's probably still not going to be good. And we're probably looking at another year of total futility at the bottom because it's bad and our budget's going to be bad, and we're not going to be able to just go out and spend a bunch of money to sign better riders. Minimum contracts, though, we should be able to get a few guys on minimum contracts, and that should be able to push us up into the 60s in that regards. But again, we'll see what happens as we push forward till tomorrow. Let's get a quick recap, though, of the Tour de France. It is Thibaut Pinot who has taken the win. Yes, Pinot has won the Tour de France. He led from a very early stage. And another French rider, Christophe Laporte, has won at the Champs-Élysées. But if you look at that, Alaphilippe was second and Stuyven was third. Yeah, a lot of sprinters were not left. Caleb Ewan won an early stage, crashed out of the race, so there were a number of riders not present at the end. But Pinot won over Egan Bernal and Steven Kruijswijk. And we'll have to go the other way to get results properly. Let's go ahead and get some really quick results on that Tour de France, and then we will push forward to tomorrow and see what happens. In fact, there you go. Right off the bat, stage... Oh, is it not over yet? No. It is. It's over. There it is. Pinot winning by 44 seconds. Bernal and Kruijswijk on same time. Really surprising after a 21-stage race. And then Ineos dominating fashion with 3 of the top 5 riders. And that could also be why they weren't able to get the top step of the podium, as they had 3 top riders instead of committing to 1 guy. A problem that I'm all too familiar with, if you've seen my Pro Cyclist series from PCM 2019. Micah in 6th, Dumoulin 7th, Moss, Yates, and his brother Adam in 10th. Points classification. It was Sagan, but in the end, Arnaud Demar has taken it. Demar on the final... Really? You're going to jump to stage 10 now? Odd. How about stage 21? There you go. Odd finish here. This is very much not your typical sprint. Demar takes 9th place with 13 points. Sagan gains 10, so that was only a 3-point difference. So it was before the final stage that it was taken away. But Sagan did have that points lead pretty late in the Tour. So he does not claim the points classification jersey for a change. KOM goes to Julian Alaphilippe by a wide margin. Under 25s to Egan Bernal, again by a wide margin. Team classification naturally goes to Ineos, as dominant as they were overall, even though they did not end up claiming that top step. Okay, one day. Please, not game over. Not game over. I would expect that we'll have 3 new offers, but just at a smaller budget. There are sponsor offers, maybe? Yes, there are sponsor offers. Okay, so it's not 3, but there are 2 new offers. So yes, our concepts, end of sponsorship. They've given us the boot. We are going to go backwards. We're going to have a smaller budget next season, which is a little worrying. But we're in the clear. We're safe. Now, there's a $1,000 difference between Austria car and meter cost. The max does favor Austria car. I would imagine that neither one of these sponsors are ones that I'm going to want to retain long term, but it does mean that the Epic Challenge is allowed to continue, so I'm grateful for that. We can still develop. We can still make things happen, even though it's a step backward on sponsorship money. The team literally can't be any worse than what it was, and it will only get better from here. I don't think I necessarily care about the max money between the two, nor do I care about the location, because we don't have more than one rider from any nation. So the tiny increase in budget by meter cost is where I will go. I would imagine I'm going to look to re-sign somebody else a year from now. But we're still in it, folks. We're still in it. As we enter the signing period, here's where the team sits right now. Khalifa was the only 55. They are now a 57. So they've leveled up. Everybody else was a 51 to 53, which was the minimum ratings of anyone out there. Kornilov's, the old man, has already declared that he is retiring and has no contract. Lunenburg is the only young rider, because Jaime is the other one with no contract, and zero chance of us re-signing him. He was a straight 55 and still is a straight 55. The only 2 that we had, or was maybe a 50. No, he was a 55. Lunenburg, though, has actually decent potential. I don't know if I want to bother re-signing such a bad rider, though, this far down, even though they've got some potential, maybe down the road. But we are definitely playing with fire when it comes to our budget. Now, 10 riders, minimum salary is $25,000. We have more than that to play with, so we're actually going to be okay financially to maybe do a little more than what we have, not just sign 3 riders, replace 3 riders. But we're definitely needing to reshape this team. They've improved a lot, not racing just through training, but they're not good. They're not even close to good, as we just saw a month ago with the national championships, where those that competed, finished literally last. Best riders with expiring contracts, Matthew Van Der Poel and Primoz Roglic, both at an 80. It's amazing to see that the 25-year-old converted over from cyclocross is rated this highly already in the game, but he is definitely something special. Kind of surprised that Roglic is given an average of 80. but only slightly. Really good rider. Just surprised that he's, I would say 78, almost 79. But, I mean, that's apples to apples. That's a pretty minor gap. But obviously, we're not signing any of these riders at all. They have zero interest. Zero, 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 zero. The first rider we have that has better than zero interest is a 71. So, no fireworks expected. There are riders with interest, though. There are riders in the upper 60s with interest. So this is where we're going to begin reshaping the team, because the utter crap that we have for a team now can slowly take on a new form. Also, the really good news is the riders that I picked to go after, recruiting-wise, we dropped a couple of them that weren't going well, that either asked for more dossier points or just were not progressing. We dropped a couple of those, but otherwise, we have almost total success. We have 4 riders that got between 80 and 95%, but otherwise, the rest of them all at an even 100. Now, one of the only downsides is I did target a small number, but still a number of American riders, trying to woo them onto the team, assuming that we had an American sponsor. We don't anymore, so it no longer matters where I'm signing anyone from. However, I'm not looking to retain this sponsor long term. We will move on again. That might bring us back to an American sponsor later, and it might not. So, I've rarely ventured away from my home nation with sponsors in the past. I'm curious to see how this is going to play out in the seasons to come, and whether we're able to find our way back into the American market, or some other nation for that matter. We don't have to... there's no direct ties to America besides myself being an American, but I lived outside of the country for a few years, so... there's no reason to necessarily stick with my roots. With that being said, let's get to it. Now, the highest rated rider, we're not going to count Quinn Simmons, as that is one that we dropped. But starting with Kevin Vermark, that's the highest rated rider available, but I do want to check potential with these guys as we go in and try to sign someone. So, I have not looked directly at where these riders are, but Vermark does have good potential and is just 19 years of age, and what a difference Vermark would be on this squad. So I absolutely am on board with the idea of trying to sign Vermark. I don't know what kind of money we'd be looking at, and we certainly can't afford much. If it's much more than $2,500, we're in trouble. I like that as a start point. How about... well, it's not absolute. Let's say leader. Yo! Yes! We got a 71 rider for next season. Our start point on index is 85th, by the way. That boosts us up a little. We are not looking at Continental Pro in any way, shape, or form. We are looking at... instead of the sink or swim Continental, where we clearly sunk, I'm looking at sink or swim Continental, hoping to stay afloat. Oh, I'm so stoked by that. I did not think we would be able to actually get Vermark. I thought these top guys were going to be a bit of a stretch. I figured these top 4, well, okay, say, these top 3 were going to be too far, and that these guys were going to be a reach, but possible. And I thought possible because none of them have current teams, and that we were able to build the interest. Sweet. Okay, we have a potential sprinter. Oh, 72s. Oh, I like that, but stamina resistance. Okay. The Japanese writer, Oka, is definitely the better option on that. Let's give it a shot. What kind of potential are we looking at for these two guys, though? 2-4, 1-4. Yeah, not good in either case. But again, I think we're looking at the money at this point. If they're willing to sign cheap, 100% interest, would favor that. If we're able to get them for next to nothing, it's a real boost to the team, even if they're not going to develop much beyond where they're at now. So we'll give it a shot. 2,800 is not bad if they would take it. Maybe we're looking at just a 2-year contract. I like Absolute Sprinter. Let's see what sort of feedback we have. They want more money. 33. I think I'm already... This is max. This is max to me. Yes, we're below budget. And we can sign some riders. But I don't know if I want to spend much on somebody who's... We could sign him for 38. Do I want to sign him for 38 where he's not going to develop? Let's see what else is out there, okay? We'll start with Joseph Thomas. Again, not much potential, so we're bulk parking, same thing here. 2-year deal, again, I'm happy with that. Let's see where he's lying now. Luxury teammate, not enough, but if we go sprinter and the 33, this is my max. Oh gosh, that is so close. But again, I don't want to overpay two guys that aren't going to develop. I mean, we need some help. We need some serious help. But we are on a very strict budget. And I don't need to get guys that aren't going anywhere. Which I've got a whole team of already. Banijek, I've had his brother on a previous team of mine. This is a Barrador. But a really good flat rating. That's a big development. What kind of potential? Banijek has potential. Will he take minimum? Potential means I want you around. Okay, you don't like the role. Now you do, and you take minimum money. Another big step in the right direction there. Okay, Hawaiian. More of a sprinter than a Barrador. Not a great sprinter, but some potential. He'll develop a bit. He's way better than what I have now. So again, we're looking at the minimum money. Will you take the minimum money? That means we... Absolute leader. Really? You want absolute leader? Why? He'll take it. Okay. Baki. Oh, there's a decent little sprinter. Please tell me you have some potential. Some. Not great. Some. Minimum money. No. So no. Class. Okay. Yeah. Cobble 68. A little bit punchy. Oh yes, potential. There we go. This is what we needed. 3 years. Okay, don't like the role. You'll have to like this role. And there we go. We got him signed. Now, that means we've signed four writers. We're getting pretty close to what would be our max. At this point, we're looking for best potential. I'm going to bypass the guys that didn't get to 100% interest. So 8th hill. Good potential. Let's do it. 3 years. Absolute leader. Done. Not great potential. Tintani has great potential. I'm going a little overboard here, but this is going to make a really big difference for us signing these guys, especially that they're all signing on minimums. So we have let a couple go, but we are bringing in a lot of much better riders and guys with good potential that are starting 14, 15 points ahead of where these other guys were. There's only 2 left on the list that we have the top interest on. Let's get the potential. There's 1 more to get here. Signed. And finally, Rivard. No. You know what? I've got to draw the line somewhere. For 1, he's only a 63. 2, his potential's not quite as good. And 3, we have hit our budget cap. Just like that. It's done. We have... I'm actually really pleased with what we have here. This is not getting me out of Continental in any way, shape, or form. This is just going to get us to a point where we can actually do something in Continental, and that is we have 3, 6, 7 new riders coming in, 3 going out. So we're going to expand from 10 to 14 riders, even though we have a shrinking budget. That part's a little worrying, but we were actually well below what that budget was limited to, and this is all for minimum or really close to minimum contracts. So we're going to confirm with all of these. We still have that potential to cancel someone, but I think we're going to be good. So we jumped to 69 points, which brings us to 38th, which means we're already at the bottom end of the Continental Pro list, and nobody else has gone in and signed their riders yet. That's all coming later, which means guaranteed we will stay in Continental. Well, not guaranteed officially yet, but it's already very close to that point. The major thing, though, is that everyone we're bringing in is significantly better than the riders that we have now. So we'll look at that index here briefly and see, have we gotten anywhere on stars? Wow, hey, look at that, 2 stars, and you can see it's the last Continental Pro position. So no, we're not going to be Continental Pro because we've already signed everyone that we're going to sign, guaranteed. Many teams below us will improve. Rally, UHC will definitely sign riders. But we've gone from nothing to 2 stars. So big step in the right direction. And let's go ahead and get that quick recap. So we have... There it is. It's 7 new riders. And you can see how all 7, the start point is almost 10 points above our current best rider. Now, the absolute leader thing, that's going to create a little challenge in the morale side for me with those contracts. And it's not going to be great, but it's a problem that I'd rather have than the problem we have now. Now, the only thing that's happened here is that we now have, 4 American and 2 Italian riders, in terms of kind of condensing it down slightly. But you can see we're still at the minimum salaries on all 10 that we signed. And that's definitely something, or really special. So we're at exactly 10,000 more per month than what we were. But for finances, you can see our balance has been good this year. And the staff salary is an area we're spending a lot. We could definitely cut back on that, needs be, in order to counter the improvements here. And we might even be able to get something in terms of winnings this next season, giving us some addition to what our monthly balance is. But as a team, yeah, look at that. We were officially a 0-star team with, see that little blue dot? That was us. This is us next year. That's how big of a difference we are having. We have just the one departure confirmed, but the other two will be coming. And yeah, I'm really excited. Big thing that made this happen is we've got 6 of the 7 riders were free agents willing to sign for essentially nothing because they wanted a job. There may be one race left on the calendar, but this team's not going anywhere. I mean, they really aren't. It's going to be quite the challenge for them to do anything at the Tour of Utah. So as a result, we're going to go ahead and sit that one out, and we're going to move forward all the way to the beginning of next season. So I'll see you back on January 1st. New riders coming to join the team, and we'll see what year 2 can bring. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now. Just to show off how awesome the team was at the final race of the season, Tour of Utah, quick simming the 7-stage race. Here is the final standings. And yes, you can see 6 of my 7 riders occupy 6 of the last 7 spots. Sakamoto, the only one not in that worst of the grid, but he's only 5 seconds ahead of Simon Jones, and I'm assuming Simon Jones is just about as bad as we are. Yeah, 59 overall. So Sakamoto just 5 seconds ahead of anyone else, and then our team leader, who was on a fitness peak, Puchek, 61st, was our highest placed rider. So go team! See you next time.